On October 26, 2025, in China, a construction site incident occurred involving a hydraulic excavator. During routine operations, a male worker moved underneath the machine's bucket while it was in use. Unexpectedly, the bucket became detached from the excavator and struck the worker. Preliminary observations suggested that mechanical failure or insufficient securing of the bucket components may have contributed to the event, prompting a comprehensive inspection of similar equipment across the site. Heavy machinery operations require strict adherence to safety procedures and regular maintenance to ensure all components are fully secured and functioning correctly. Workers must maintain a safe distance from moving parts, particularly when equipment is in operation, and avoid positioning themselves beneath suspended loads. Pre-use inspections, verification of mechanical connections, and clear communication between operators and ground personnel are essential to reduce the risk of accidental contact or component failure. In May 2023, a workplace incident occurred at a container yard in Taichung City, Taiwan. A container truck driver was walking within the operational area of the yard while forklifts were actively moving containers as part of routine logistics operations. During this time, a forklift traveling through the same route made contact with the individual. The individual later passed away due to the incident. Active industrial yards require strict separation between pedestrian walkways and vehicle operating zones. Clear traffic management plans, designated pedestrian routes, physical barriers, and enforced right-of-way rules are essential to reduce interaction between people and mobile equipment. In a warehouse, a worker was standing on an elevated platform handling material boxes. While lifting a box from the platform, his balance shifted, causing him to fall from the height. Working on elevated platforms requires maintaining proper balance and using safe lifting techniques. Workers should avoid overreaching or lifting loads that compromise stability and ensure the platform has adequate guardrails or fall protection systems. In China, inside a warehouse storage area, a worker was resting on the floor near stacked goods during a pause in operations. Nearby, multiple racks containing bottled products had been stacked without adequate stabilization or restraint. While the worker remained in the area, the stacked bottles became unstable and collapsed. The falling rack made contact with the worker, who was reported injured during the incident. Other workers responded immediately and provided assistance. The incident highlighted issues related to improper stacking methods and the use of floor-level rest areas within active storage zones. Warehouse storage systems must be stacked and secured according to load limits, manufacturer guidance, and site procedures. Unstable stacking significantly increases the risk of collapse, especially in areas where workers may be present. At a roadside checkpoint, 2 security guards were seated while monitoring traffic. Suddenly, a truck, reportedly experiencing brake failure, moved uncontrollably and made contact with one of the guards. The second guard narrowly avoided the vehicle by moving out of its path in time. Personnel stationed near active roadways should maintain situational awareness and have clear escape paths in case of uncontrolled vehicles. Vehicles should be regularly inspected and maintained, with brakes and safety systems checked to prevent sudden failures. Establishing physical barriers between traffic lanes and checkpoint personnel, combined with emergency response protocols, can significantly reduce the risk of injury in high-traffic environments. Outside a factory area, a small truck was reversing under the guidance of a colleague who was directing the movement. During the maneuver, the guiding colleague became momentarily distracted, and the truck made contact with him against a nearby wall. Other workers on site responded quickly, but the incident had already occurred. The individual was reported injured during the event, and the area was secured to prevent further hazards. Reversing vehicles in industrial environments require full attention from both drivers and spotters. Clear communication, continuous eye contact, and proper hand signals are essential to ensure safe maneuvering. Maintaining exclusion zones around moving vehicles, using high-visibility clothing, and avoiding distractions can prevent collisions and protect personnel during vehicle operations. At an electromechanical factory in Omsk, Russia, a worker was performing tasks near a production line where molten metal was being handled. A structural component unexpectedly detached from its mounting and fell into a vat containing heated zinc. This caused molten metal to spill over the edge and splashed onto the worker. Operations involving molten metals and high-temperature processing demand rigorous engineering controls and strict adherence to safety protocols. Equipment and structural supports must be routinely inspected, and hot work zones should be clearly delineated with restricted access. Personal protective equipment rated for heat exposure, such as heat-resistant clothing and face shields, is essential to mitigate burn hazards. Pre-task hazard assessments and maintenance checks help ensure that fixtures and mountings are secure before molten material handling begins, reducing the risk of uncontrolled spills and related injuries. In India, a truck driver was performing tasks beside his vehicle at a factory entrance after completing a delivery. While adjusting the truck's tarpaulin from atop the vehicle, his head came into contact with an overhead, high-voltage power line carrying approximately 11,000 volts. The contact produced an electric arc and sparks at the point of contact. Work near electrical infrastructure requires a risk assessment that identifies overhead lines and maintains safe clearance distances. Before performing elevated or rooftop tasks on vehicles or equipment, operators should confirm that no energized conductors are within reach. Use of insulated tools, personal protective equipment, and clearly marked no-access zones beneath live lines helps reduce the risk of unintended contact. Establishing and communicating hazard zones around electrical infrastructure protects workers from electrocution and related injuries. In a parking area, a worker was performing a routine maintenance task inside a manhole to repair a fault. The worker was partially positioned in the manhole, and the operation appeared to be proceeding normally. Everything appeared normal and routine job. During the task, a nearby parked car moved unexpectedly, entering the worker's blind spot and making contact with him. Work near vehicles and in confined spaces requires clear delineation of the work area and effective hazard communication. Barricades, warning signs, and high-visibility markers should be placed around manholes or areas where workers are partially exposed to moving vehicles. Drivers must be aware of potential blind spots and adhere to reduced speeds in parking zones or work sites. Combining physical barriers with training on situational awareness and safe work practices helps protect personnel performing maintenance in proximity to vehicles. On October 25, 2020, in the Longhua district of Shenzhen, China, a security guard was leaving a breakfast shop near an industrial area when a road roller unexpectedly moved into his path. The driver of the machinery, navigating a nearby construction zone, attempted to avoid multiple pedestrians by adjusting the vehicle's direction. During this maneuver, the roller made contact with the security guard. Heavy construction equipment operating in areas with pedestrian traffic requires strict risk assessment, traffic management, and operational controls. Drivers should be trained to anticipate pedestrian presence and maintain full control over the machinery at all times.